Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome to NJBIA Sales and Marketing Roundtable. Kate, why don't you welcome our audience?
Thank you. We at the New Jersey Business and Industry Association are thrilled to have helped in the creation of this amazing group led by such amazing women. For those of you who are new to NJBIA, we're the largest statewide business association in the country, representing approximately 1 million jobs in the state of New Jersey and offering customer development opportunities, visibility through events, magazine ads, and our podcast and TV shows, and money-saving discounts on stuff you're probably already paying for, like payroll, healthcare, 401k solution, and HR support. I am Kate Conroy, and if you're interested in more info on us, I'll drop the website info into the chat along with my contact info. Feel free to be in touch and we can get you whatever you need. With that, I will toss it over to my good friend Rachel Durkin. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited for today. I've heard Jen speak before and she is amazing. So this is going to be a really good event. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rachel Durkin. My company is Paradigm Marketing and Design. We are a web marketing and branding agency specializing in companies that have a complex sale, which means not just selling a widget. They have a sales team and they want to shorten their sales cycle and increase the number of meetings their sales team is having. I want to thank our sponsors for today. So first we have Cal Thomas of Sandler Training in Morristown. Most people here are in this window are Sandler trained that you see. When I took Sandler training years ago, my closing rate went from like 30% to 70% in 2 months. It is an exceptional program. Cal is amazing at it. He has 2 events coming up. One is August 3rd, building management skills for employee retention. And one is August 10th, how to succeed at shortening your sales cycle. I'm going to put both of those links in the chat after this. I highly recommend Sandler. I have 2 employees in it right now. I'm putting another in it next month. We speak Sandler language, we talk it, and it has become a way of life for our business. It's amazing. I highly recommend it if you have a sales team or you are a sales professional yourself. The second sponsor I want to recognize is Roseanne DeTorres from DeTorres and DeGeorge, a very good friend of mine. They are a family law firm. I have a couple friends going through the divorce process right now, and it is terrible. It is emotional. It is expensive. You need somebody on your team who's going to educate you, hold your hand, walk you through the process, and make you feel comfortable. Roseanne, D&D Family Law, Roseanne herself is one of only 150 attorneys out of 41,000 in New Jersey that has a specialty certification in family law. And she's won a number of awards for her entrepreneurial skills. Also, her firm settles about 99% of their cases, which is amazing because it is very expensive to get divorced. And if you can settle and get what you want out of it, she doesn't just settle for fun. She settles with your best interest in mind, then you can save a lot of money and move on with your life. I highly recommend if you're even exploring divorce, she offers a free 20-minute consultation. Check out D&D Family Law. I will also put their website in the chat after this. With that, I'm going to throw it over to Donna to talk about our next event and introduce our speaker for today.
So yes, mark your calendars, save the date, September 21st. We're going to do a special noontime event with the amazing Emily Vavra. I have gotten to know Emily over the last year or so. She 10 years ago was living on a friend's couch. She now runs a 9-figure, yes, I said 9-figure sales organization with 144,000 people under her. And we are going to be talking about sales, behaviors, your behaviors, how to motivate your team. It's going to be an amazing conversation, and I will put the link in the chat window as well. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Donna Miller, Chief Visionary Officer at C3 Workplace, where we have been helping companies to start and grow by providing on-demand office space, back office support, bookkeeping for the last 20-something years. Now in this next phase of my career, because I have built this company that does run and grow without me, I now spend my time as a business growth consultant. So if you are not getting the results you want, if you have no work-life balance, if you started a business that now runs you instead of you running your business, let's talk. Maybe I can help. So delighted to be here. Love collaborating with these amazing women and this organization. And I am so excited about our conversation today. We are going to be just in a moment welcoming Jen Gottlieb to our virtual stage. Jen, as you may know, is a former actress, although I'm not sure anyone's ever really a former actress, which is where she started to learn about the power of public relations. She spent 14 years hosting a heavy metal show on VH1. She is host and creator of Unfair Advantage Live, based out of New York, where she lives, the world's premier publicity event. And she is co-founder and chief mindset officer at Super Connector Media, helping businesses create epic, love that word, epic movements using the power of mainstream media, connection, and mindset. Please join me in welcoming the one, the only Jen Gottlieb to our virtual stage. Yay!
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Hey,
Take it
everybody.
away, Jen. The stage
All
is yours.
right. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. What's up, Kate, Rachel? This is long awaited, so I'm super stoked. Hi, everybody. So I can't see you guys. So what's going to give me life today is this chat. Like Donna said, I'm a former actress, so I need to have that audience reciprocation. It gives me life. So I like to, I like to bribe people a little bit. I'm just going to say, so we're going to do an engagement competition throughout this presentation today. You guys down? Yes, Cal is down. All right. So the person that's the most engaged in the chat with me, and I mean like real engagement, not just like spamming the chat just to like win the prize, but seriously engaged with me, will get $100. I will PayPal you $100. So Donna, Rachel, Kate, they're going to take that chat at the end and they're going to look at it and see who was the most engaged. Vicky's all about it, right? And I'm going to send you $100 because the more engaged that you are with this, the more you're going to get out of it. So let's go. Let's do this. Like Donna said, so beautifully, I thank you for that bio and that introduction. I am in New York City. That's where I'm based. This is my real background. These are my real windows. This is not a Zoom background. And it's kind of foggy out, so you can't really see the Empire State Building, but usually that's what you can see behind me. So I'm based out of New York City. Where are you guys from? Let me know in the chat where everybody is from. Eileen, where are you from? Let me know. Drop it in. Drop it in. New Jersey. We got a lot of New Jerseys. Livingston, New Jersey, Fanwood, New Jersey, Princeton, New Jersey. All right, just right across the way. We could have done this in person, you guys. We definitely could have now. Montclair, New Jersey, Ringwood, Oceanport, New Jersey. Amazing. Okay, lots of Jersey people in the house. I love it. All right, we're going to dive right on in. I have an amazing presentation for you today. We're talking about PR. We're talking about media and how it can power your brand, your business, generate more sales, more credibility, more authority. Just completely change not only your life and your business, but the life and the businesses of the people that you serve. So we're going to dive right on in. I'm going to share my screen. Wait, you guys ready? Let me know if you're ready. Say yes in the chat if you are ready for me. Say yes. Ready. All right. We got it going on. Let's go. Share my screen. Share. Allow Zoom to share your screen. Hang on. Let's make sure that Zoom can share my screen. 1 second. You guys keep going in the chat. There we go. We're going to see.
You'll be fine.
I got to leave and come back to share my screen. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So while Jen is joining us back in, the other thing is, Zoom, we are moving back into in-person events, and I love that Jen wants all of you to be engaged in the chat window. But the other thing is, do some networking in that chat window, introduce yourself, talk to us about what you do, and more importantly, who you do it for. I mean, we all know that, your message becomes louder if you are in front of a room full of the right people. So let us know who your target market is in addition to what you do. Here she is.
Okay. We're back. Let's go. Sorry, that's
all good.
Situation. So here we go. All right, guys. Can you see my screen? Let me know in the chat if you can see it. Yes? Oh, yes. Still lighting that up. Sure can. All right, let's go. The super connector method, how to use publicity to skyrocket your brand, generate more sales, and become the recognized expert in your industry. we're going to talk about PR. And before we even start, that's me on Instagram. So I want every single one of you to take out your phones, go to your Instagram, follow me on Instagram. And if you see something that you absolutely love during this presentation, something that resonates with you, something that you think your followers would like to see, take a picture, share it on your stories, and then I'll reshare your story with my 157,000 followers. Sound good? So we can all help each other here. I'm all about the Instagram story. Get it going on. Okay. So this is me, and that's my amazingly handsome fiance and business partner, Chris Winfield. Our company is called Super Connector Media. We have a PR agency, and our entire tagline of our lives and our business is doing things differently, but really we do PR much differently. And I think you'll see throughout this presentation how we do it differently. You heard Donna say that my title at our company is actually Chief Mindset Officer. And that's because we really help people, even some of the biggest brands and companies that we represent, we help them get out of their own way, get out of the imposter syndrome or the fear of being seen, so they can share their message with the world and serve more people. So we help some of the world's biggest personal brands, tech startups, companies you'll see throughout this presentation in the media. These are some of the people that we've represented. Kevin Harrington, the original shark from Shark Tank, Dean Graziosi. I think he's one of the greatest marketers of all time. Jim Quick, the brain coach, Dan Fleischman, serial entrepreneur, Todd Herman. And we've gotten people placed in, I would say, probably every single publication, every single show known to man. And we also have an educational portion of our company where we teach people, anybody with a service, a story, a product that wants to get their message out there into the mainstream media, create more credibility and authority. We teach them how to do that in our programs. The Be on TV Bootcamp's one of them. And right now we've got an amazing one, a free challenge going on called the Dream Client Challenge, teaching how to use visibility to be able to attract your dream clients. I'll talk more about that later. But let's dive in. So why publicity? Why now? Guys, I want to ask you a question. What are people doing all day, every day, right now, more than ever before? Tell me, what are they doing more than ever before right now during this time? Watching video on phones. Amanda, yes, Zooming. Very true, Janice. They're Zooming, but they're online. They're consuming content. So whether they're consuming content on their phones, on their computers, on the TV, on their wall, they are watching the news, they are consuming content. They want to know what's going on more now than ever before, right? So if you can put your brand, your company, your business, the place where they're consuming more now than ever before, which actually is mainstream media, then, and you can come and be the answer to their problems, they're going to follow you forever. You're going to have that credibility. You're going to have that social proof. So speaking of credibility, right? Authority and credibility is your greatest asset. And we're going to talk about this a lot today, because when somebody's thinking about working with you, let's say you're even in a sales conversation with somebody and they do that thing where they're like, all right, I'm going to go think about it and I'll come back to you. What are they going to do when they're thinking about it? They're going to go onto Google and they're going to search to see if you're credible and you've got authority in the space, right? And if you have no mainstream media and you have no publicity about you and nobody's talking about you, they're probably going to go pick somebody else that does. Just because, and you could be just as good as that other person. It doesn't matter. Street cred rules when it comes to winning the business. It's your responsibility. So we often don't think about this, but every single day that goes by that you're not making yourself visible to the people that you can help is another day that those people are going to go hire somebody else that's not as good as you and doesn't care as much as you, simply because they can't find you. So if you have a service, a story, a product, something that helps people, it is your responsibility to be as visible as possible to those people every single day. And earned media is free. Let's be real, right? We all love paid advertising. Yay, paid advertising is awesome. We run ads all the time. But earned media, meaning being in the mainstream media, being on the news, being written up in publications, that is free 99, y'all. Who likes free? I like free. It's easier to get media now than it's ever been. It is easier now to get on TV. Before, you used to have to get on an airplane, go to New York or LA, stay in a hotel and go to the studio and get all done up. Now you can do it in your pajama bottoms from, you know how many TV segments I've done from this very room, from this living room, from my house. So now all of the interviews are being done via Zoom, whether it's for a publication. You don't even have to go to a coffee shop to meet with an editor of a magazine. You just do it via Zoom. So it is easier now than ever before. P.T. Barnum said, without publicity, a terrible thing happens. Nothing. Who here has seen the movie The Greatest Showman? Let me know in the chat. Greatest Showman? Anyone? Anyone? Greatest Showman? About P.T. Barnum? So good. Loved it. Yes. Yes. Well, this is what P.T. Barnum actually looked like. Just so you know, if you've seen the movie, I know you have a vision of P.T. Barnum in your mind. I hate to ruin it for you ladies, but that's P.T. Barnum. But he was truly revolutionary when it comes to creating the world of publicity. Now let's talk about why we want to be on TV, especially now. I mean, during 2020, the TV ratings skyrocketed. People were sitting around watching TV more than ever. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC all record their most watched quarter ever in a period dominated by breaking news coverage, ever. And people are still doing it because they got into the habit of watching TV during the pandemic. My gosh, Global Web Index found that over 80% of consumers in the US and the UK say they consume more content since the outbreak, with broadcast TV and online videos being primary mediums across all generations and genders. BBC News, so not just in the United States, nationally, internationally, TV watching and online streaming surged during the lockdown. So let's talk about authority. I mentioned authority and credibility being your greatest asset as a business owner, thought leader, salesperson, anyone that wants to create impact. You want to have authority. And let me give you a great example of that. So they call us the super connectors, right? Our company is called Super Connector Media. And I could sit here and I could tell you that I am the super connector, right? But that's just cute if I say it. It doesn't necessarily mean anything if I tell you that I'm the super connector, right? Because it's just me saying that. But if I'm on the news and they call me and Chris the super connector power couple, or they call Chris, my fiance, the super connector on NBC News, suddenly we are anointed with the authority of actually being the super connector. We can now call ourselves a super connector because a more trusted, more credible source like the news called us that. So I'm going to give you an example of how this works for a personal brand or a, like this is a life coach, Stephen Lovegrove. He is a life coach and he came to us and he wanted to be anointed as America's life coach. That's what his clients called him. That's what he wanted to call himself. But no one was calling him that other than himself. So it didn't really necessarily mean anything. So he decided to leverage the media to start to call himself America's life coach. So what he did was he got lots of publications. He did one of our boot camps and he ended up getting over, I think that it was over 60 national media placements in a very short amount of time. And here he is on the nationally syndicated show, The List, being called America's life coach. Then he was on Studio 9 being called America's life coach. Here he is on CNN, hashtag America's life coach. Here he is on Home and Family, his dream network to be on the Hallmark Channel, being called America's life coach. Now you can go to Stefan's Instagram and look at all this authority. Look at all of it. America's life coach. He can now say that he was being called America's life coach. CNN calls him that. Stephen Lovegrove, America's life coach, as seen on CNN, right? National TV personality, Stephen Lovegrove. Look at all the authority, America's life coach with CNN headline news that this gives him. When somebody's thinking about working with him, they're going to go to this Instagram and they're going to see, oh, wow, he must be thebomb.com because, and he must be America's life coach because he's on CNN, he's on the Hallmark Channel, right? Yeah, create your own credibility. Except he's not really creating his own credibility. The media is creating his credibility. Advertising is what you pay for. Publicity is what you pray for, right? Like anybody and their mom can run a Facebook ad and say that they're America's life coach in the Facebook ad. It doesn't give you the credibility that CNN gives you when they call you America's life coach on their show, right? Okay, so here's a great example of that, of what it can do for your credibility and your authority when other people are talking about you. So this is Angelique Brewer. She's an unbelievable female entrepreneur. She helps people get corporate clients essentially. And she's one of our clients and we got her featured in Forbes. We've got her featured all over the place, but here's what happened to her since working with us and being featured all over the planet. I mean, here's CNBC all the time. I feel like every other week she's on CNBC Grow. She's on the news all the time talking about what she does. So when she started with us, she had 6.4 thousand followers. And from January 2020 to May 2021, just through amplifying the media that she got, so not just getting media, but we also work on amplifying the media. So putting it on her social media and really showing it off, she was able to go from 6.4 thousand followers to 22.9, right? Which is 253% increase. And that's from media. So we were able to track that back from just mainstream media and leveraging PR. Let's talk about credibility. Media equals instant credibility. So ladies, how many of you have seen this Allure stamp of approval, Best of Beauty award winner red thing when you're shopping for makeup? All over the place. Absolutely, says Donna. Yeah, okay. So I don't know about you, but when I'm shopping for a beauty product and I'm at Sephora and there's this little red dot on that product, I buy that product. It doesn't matter if it's good as the other product or if it's more expensive or less expensive. I don't care, because I saw that Allure approved it and Allure said it was the shit. I'm going to pick up that product and I'm going to buy it. Like, I don't even need to try it. That is what the little media logos on your website do for you. They are a stamp of approval. So somebody knows that you are verified by Forbes, Entrepreneur, CNN, MSNBC, right? So I love using this example because we all know if we see it, right? We see it there, I buy it. I don't even have to think twice. Like, oh, Allure says it's great, I'm going to buy it. Same with good housekeeping. That's right, Connie. Same with good housekeeping. So here's a great example of how this works for your business. So Stefan Georgi is one of our former clients, and he is a copywriter. I would say he's one of the world's greatest copywriters. And I know that you guys, a lot of you are in marketing and sales, you know all about hiring copywriters. So let's say you're looking for an amazing copywriter. You get referred to two different copywriters. They both happen to be named Stefan Georgi, and they both charge the exact same amount of money, and they both get amazing results. So you go to Google, you're thinking about who to hire, and you see one website that looks like this, and then you see one Stefan Georgi website that looks like this. Number one, number two. Which one are you gonna hire? Number one or number two? Tell me in the chat. Right? No brainer, right? Why would you hire this guy when this guy's been featured in Forbes, Business Insider, CNBC Grow, BuzzFeed, right? Exactly. So that's how it gives you credibility automatically. Who here, question for you in the chat, would like to get verified on Instagram? Little blue check mark next to your name. Say me. Roseanne does. Ellen doesn't. That's okay. Vicky does. It's if you have a personal brand and you would like that little blue verification check mark. Well, Instagram is smart. They know that the only real way to verify that you are who you say you are and you are legitimate is by mainstream media. And that is why the only way that you can get verified on Instagram is by submitting articles that you have been featured in. And not just featured in, you need to have articles that you've been headlined in. That is the only way to get verified on Instagram. So my really good friend, she texted me this when she got verified. I just wanted to show you guys this. I blurred out her face because I don't know if she wants you guys to know that she texted me this, but she got her blue check. She sent me a screenshot. I was celebrating her. Oh my God, congrats. She said, thank you, very excited about it. I don't care if it's a vanity thing, I'm vain. I said, I totally get it. Chris makes fun of me. How did you get it? She said, I applied again just through settings. No idea what made the difference this time. Maybe they Googled me and the new Forbes piece came up. That's exactly what happened. She's had a new Forbes article. It came up and they gave her verification. Instant recognition. Media also equals instant recognition. If someone doesn't know who you are, but you've been featured in a trusted media outlet that they know who they are, they're suddenly going to feel like they know you. That's just how it works, right? Who here knows who Neil Patel is? There's some marketers here, so many of you might know who Neil Patel is. Let's say me if you know who Neil is. Rachel knows who Neil, Donna knows who Neil is. Neil's a good friend of ours. Neil is, no, that's okay, Connie, because I'm going to show you something. He's one of the greatest marketers of all time, right? You may not know who he is, but if you go to his website, you're going to see that even the greatest marketer of all time, who writes unbelievable copy that knows how to market himself better than anybody, uses only his media credibility in his bio. So he's a New York Times bestselling author. The Wall Street Journal calls him a top influencer on the web. Forbes says he's one of the top 10 marketers, and Entrepreneur says he's created one of the 100 most brilliant companies. Now, suddenly, you might recognize him, right? He's not that unfamiliar to you now because you are familiar with the Wall Street Journal, Entrepreneur magazine, right? Yeah, power paragraph, Donna, totally. Okay, media is a salesperson that you don't have to pay a commission to. Media can sell your stuff. with no sales call. So if you run your own business, your own company, and you are sick of getting on a million sales calls with people, start to leverage the media, and people will just be able to hire you off of hearing you on a podcast or seeing you on TV, right? Carwana, she's part of our community. Yesterday, I closed my first VIP 10K client for one-on-one coaching in response to a podcast. Podcasts are media too, right? So he heard her. He didn't even really necessarily need to have that big of a conversation. He was already bought in. We represent a company called Pella. And they have actually the first compost machine that can go in your kitchen. And they also have phone cases that are made out of environmentally friendly, I guess, materials, right? So we got them in Variety magazine, and then we're in their Slack, and they said, you know, we saw a huge spike in traffic on our end, super cool, from this Variety article. Now, people are going to see you in the media, and they're going to go and they're going to purchase your stuff. It skips the sales conversation. Media is an easy way for your clients to brag about you. Client retention is a real thing, and your clients referring other clients to you is a big piece of why the media is important. Because here's the thing, people love to brag when they made a great decision. When they hire someone that's awesome, when they work with someone that's awesome, they want to show you off. And you being in the media is a great way for them to brag that they made a great decision, right? Makes them look good. So let's say you hired Stefan, that amazing copywriter. You picked number 2 and you hired him. And then all of a sudden you open up businessinsider.com and you see that he is featured in Business Insider. Wow. You're going to go to your friends and be like, hey, this is the copywriter I work with. Check this out. Check this out. You're going to share it on your social media. I work with Stefan. I love Stefan. Yay. Right? It works great for me. I'm on the media all the time. My clients love it. My community loves it. They share it all over the place every single time, right? It's a great way for people to share and to build community with your people, because they're like, wow, yay, go Jen. I love it. She was on the media. Okay. We need to pause because there's a super duper majorly important reminder that I need to remind you of right now, just in case you didn't know this already. Okay. And you can never hear it too many times. Self-promotion isn't gross. It's your responsibility. Self-promotion isn't gross. It's your responsibility. What do I mean by that? I'm going to give you an example. So Nicole Perkins, she is a phenomenal doctor. She helps young adults, teens, children with mood disorders, anxiety. She saves lives, okay? When she started working with us, she was absolutely petrified to be on TV. She didn't want to be salesy. She didn't want to be markety. She had a lot of imposter syndrome when it came to being visible. And we got her a TV segment and she didn't even show up because she made herself so sick because she was so nervous, okay? And we finally talked her into doing it once. We're like, just do it. It's your responsibility. There are so many children out there that need to hear from you, parents that need your help. She finally does it, gets on TV once, realizes it's not that bad, gets on TV again and again and again and again and again. And then I get this message from her. She said, I've got a life-changing story if this is the type of thing you're looking for. Because I was asking for stories from our clients and our community members about how they used media to change people's lives. And she said, you know, I've had major resistance to being in the spotlight by going on TV, but you guys finally helped me do it, partly with your support and partly by helping me understand that it's my responsibility to help more people with what I know and do. So I made the connection with the local Fox network, and I've been on 5 times so far. The second time I was on talking about food and kids' health, and a mom of an accurately suicidal teenager saw the segment, looked at my website and contacted my office. Her daughter had been to every treatment center, every practitioner in the area, and on every drug, and was still very symptomatic and suicidal. They came into the clinic and I started treating her. I uncovered critical nutrition and other issues that no one had found. She's no longer suicidal, back in school, and continuing to improve. You pushing me to share my gifts, get over my own fears, and share what I know with more people literally saved her life, and I'm thankful every day. Boom. If she was not on TV that day and that mother didn't see that, this girl may not be alive today. So it's your responsibility, you guys. All right, let's dive into the super connector method so you can learn how to get in the media right now. Sound good? You guys with me? Yo, with me? Yes? Yes? Okay, fab. Step number 1, you want to get clear, okay? If you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. Clarity equals confidence. Okay. When you get clear, you're more confident, you take action, you get to where you want to be. If you don't know where you want to be, then you're not going to get there. Right. So let's get clear. Where should I be featured? This is number one question that I get asked for people. I don't even know what I should pitch. Like, where should I be? Okay. So I'm going to tell you to do something that you probably wouldn't think that I would tell you to do, but I'm going to ask you to use FOMO as a tool. Now, what do I mean by FOMO? I don't necessarily mean FOMO like your friends are all at a pool party and you're like, oh, I'm FOMOing because I can't be there, fear of missing out kind of thing. I'm talking about fear of missed opportunity. So when you're scrolling the internet and you see someone, maybe it's a divorce lawyer, someone that does the same thing as you, and they're the one being featured in the media, right? And you see them and they're in Forbes and they're on CNN and they're in, Women's Health or whatever they're in. And you're like, oh my God, that should be me. And you start to feel FOMO and you start to feel like missed opportunity and you start to feel a little stuck and you start comparing yourself to that person. Instead of doing that, Camille feels that. Yeah. Instead of doing that, realize that that person is actually showing you exactly what you should be doing. They're basically paving the yellow brick road for everything that you could do to get yourself in the media, right? So let's be grateful for those people and let's use them to show us where we should be, right? Dan Fleischman, he's a serial entrepreneur. He's one of our clients. He has a social media company. He invests in tons of companies everywhere. We got him in Rolling Stone magazine. You may, if your expertise is social media marketing, or if your expertise is, if you're an angel investor, you may look at Dan and be like, oh shit, I wish I could be like Dan, be featured in Rolling Stone magazine. Okay. And that might trigger some FOMO. So go to Google News, type in Dan Fleischman, and see where he's been featured. Okay. That's going to show you who is talking about the stuff that you do. It's going to show you what writers are writing about the topics that you talk about. It's going to show you where you should be pitching because they are featuring people that do what you do. Do your research. Here's another great example. Kevin Harrington, one of our clients. We got him all over the place. You may be looking at Kevin's book launch. We helped him with this book launch. Mentor to Millions was a huge book. You may have a book. And you may say, my gosh, I would like to have a book launch like Kevin, or I talk about what Kevin talks about. I'm a business owner. I talk about mentorship. Where should I be in the media? Go to Google News and type in his name and go look and see every place that he has been featured, because that is a place that you can be featured too. Then you're going to make a list of those places and you're going to make a list of those reporters that he has done interviews with, and you're going to reach out to them because they write about the same stuff that you do. Boom. Okay, next question I get asked. What stories should I tell? What does the media want to hear? What does the media want to know? What stories are cool? What stories are boring? What stories are interesting? Ask yourself this. When you are having conversations with people, what are the stories that make people lean in? So when you guys have conversations with people and like suddenly their eyes glaze over or they start paying attention to something totally different and they start like, they're doing something online instead of looking at you in Zoom and they're kind of, bored. Those are not the stories that you want to tell. Take those stories and throw them out the window. Those are boring. Sometimes we're too close to our own stories and we think our cool stories are boring and we think our boring stories are cool. Pay attention to when you're talking to somebody and you say something and then suddenly they lean in. Suddenly they say, oh, tell me more. That's interesting. Those are the stories. Those are the stories. Here's a great example of that. Forever, I did not want to talk about the fact that I was on VH1. I never wanted to talk about that. It had nothing to do with what I do now. And I didn't want anybody to know about this time in my life. I found it was like a messier time in my life. No one needs to know about that. But every single time I talked about it, people would suddenly like light up and lean in and be like, oh my God, that's so cool. Tell me more. That was an interesting story. And it really, really, really rang true when I pitched PBS. Oh, here's me and all these rock stars. Like, it was pretty cool. Like, you're probably leaning in right now and like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that about you. That's pretty dope, right? Now, I got this amazing segment on PBS with Joanna Gagas. It was a really long interview. It was a very, very great feature. And I showed up wearing workout clothes because I thought I was going to do workouts with her. I did not know that the lean in story, that what she really wanted to talk about, what the entire interview ended up being about, was discussing my work as a Broadway actress and host of VH1's That Metal Show. And my current role as a celebrity nutrition expert. This is when I was building a fitness business. So the media wanted to talk about the lean in story. So then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to leverage this. What is your lean in story? It may not have anything to do with what you do now, but that is most likely the story that makes you interesting and different. Your mess is your message. What is something messy and different that makes you stand out that you can tie into what you do now? All right. You guys want to learn how to write a pitch? I'm going to teach you how to write a pitch. Let me know in the chat if you want to know. Let me know. Vicky's like, your message. Yes. All right. Take out your phones to take pictures because I'm actually going to use an example of a pitch from our agency that got picked up by lots of different media outlets that we pitched for one of our clients. Okay. Let's go. Here are the 5 elements of a winning media pitch. I'm going to go through them fast now, and then I'm going to dive into each one. A timely news hook relevant to the outlet. Number 1. Number 2, sell the topic first and yourself second. Number 3, bolster your claims with stats, facts, and figures. Number 4, you're going to provide talking points. And number 5, you're going to stand for something. All right, let's dive in. So here's Dan Fleischman. I talked about him. I want to use him as an example for this pitch. So this is a pitch that our team wrote out for Dan and got him featured. I think it got picked up by like 4 or 5 different media outlets for him to be on TV. Okay, so here's number 1, a timely news hook relevant to the outlet. So you want to always tie in what you do to something timely that's happening in the news right now. Because I am so sorry, you guys, the news, they don't care about you at all. They don't care about what you do. They don't care about you. What do they care about? Tell me what they care about. Tell me what producers of news shows care about. Tell me. Ratings, very good. Money, good. Ratings, almost. Ratings, advertisers, yeah, they care about that. What sells? Watchers. They care about their audience. They care about their audience because if their audience is enjoying the content, that's going to make them more money. That's going to make more impact. That's going to get better ratings, right? So what does their audience care about? They care about what's going on right now. What's in it for them? So you want to make sure that your pitch is tied to something timely in the news right now. So this pitch was written when TikTok was going to be banned. And Dan Fleischman is a social media expert. So he could be the talking head that could come in and talk about TikTok's latest developments being banned. So we tied it to that timely news hook. Then you're going to sell the topic first and yourself second. Again, the biggest mistake I see people make when they pitch is they say, hi, I'm Jen Gottlieb and I do this, this, and this, and I can talk about this. It is not about you. It's not about you. It's about the topic. It's about the audience. It's about what you are, what's going on in the world right now. And then after you've talked about the topic, you can introduce yourself. Wait, let me go back. I don't know what just happened. Hold on. There we are. Okay, so I'd like to offer a source that can speak on the continued developments of this story. Social media expert and angel investor Dan Fleischman. We don't say anything about Dan until after we've already talked about the topic at the top. Cool? Now you want to add some stats, facts, and figures. So the media loves statistics. Back up your stuff with a good stat. So even if it's just like one, like Dan shared his guidance with TikTok influencers who stand to lose 90% of their income in an Instagram post. That's pretty big. That's big, right? So share a statistic. If you don't know a statistic, go Google one. It's super easy to find. Then you're going to provide talking points. So you want to make sure that you actually create the entire segment for the producer. They don't got time to create a segment for you. The news happens fast. You create it for them. So at the bottom, you're going to do a couple bullets. You can do 4, 5, 6, 7 of things you can talk about in regards to your pitch, right? In an interview, Dan, or if you're pitching yourself, in an interview, I am available to discuss the details of this developing story, such as blank, 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 right? Number 5, you want to stand for something. Do not be all things to all people. Please, please don't be on both sides of the coin. It's so tempting to want to be a people pleaser and be like, yay, some people say this and like be really PT and like, or, you know, like really just not standing for your opinion or your belief because you want to please everybody. You want to make sure that you stand for something or you stand for nothing. So when you're talking about like things, so the detrimental effect a ban will have on TikTok influencers' careers, we're not saying maybe it might have an effect on TikTok influencers, maybe it won't. We're saying it will have a detrimental effect. We're standing for the fact that this is very, very bad. Donna, I love that. If you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. Beautiful. Here's Dan. That pitch got picked up lots of different times on TV. So let me just run through it really quick again, just so you guys have them. Take a picture of this. These are the 5 elements of a winning media pitch, right? Timely news hook, topic first, you second, stats, facts, and figures, provide talking points, stand for something. Boom. Okay. Last piece of this. I'm going to give you a tool that's going to help you not just get media, but get absolutely anything you want in 20 days. Because you may be thinking, okay, Jen, I have my pitch. I have where I want to pitch. I have my story. Now, how do I actually get it in the media? Are you guys ready to learn a tool that is going to help you get in the media or whatever the hell it is that you want in 20 days? Donna's ready. Let's do it. Okay. So what you guys don't really realize, many people, is, where is it? You want to leverage your current network. So media is all about relationships. And you may think that I'm lying when I say this, but I would guarantee you that every single one of you on this call has absolutely everything that you need to be able to be featured in the media in your current network right now. The people you already know. You don't need to know anybody else. You know everyone that you need to get this going. So we're all going to learn this top 20 tool. It works 100% of the time if you do it. Are you committed to doing it? Let me know. If you're committed, say me, because it can get kind of scary because you're going to have to reach out to people. But if you do it, it works. Me. All right, we got lots of me's. Okay. So I want everybody to take out a piece of paper and you're going to make 4 columns on a piece of paper just like that. Okay. Or you take a picture of this and you can do it later. Cool. In the column, what is paper? Alan, I agree. Take a picture of it. You can also go to, I can give you a download for it in a video. Chris Jen, I'll type it in the chat. chrisjen.club. Hold on. And you can go get a worksheet for this. Go there. You'll get a free worksheet, but don't do it until I'm done. Just listen first. So all the way on the left, you're going to do a dump list, which means stream of conscious list of 20 people that you know in your life network. So not just your business network, but your life network. Family members, friends, friends of friends, people you went to college with, high school with, your kids' friends, parents, anyone that you know that might know someone that's in the media. Okay, life network, anyone. Okay, I don't care if you haven't spoken to them in a long time. Just write their name down. Go into your social media, look at the people that you know. Go into the contacts in your phone, look at the people that you know. 20 names, okay? Once you have your 20 names, you're going to move on over to the next column and you're going to rank these names on a scale of 1 to 10 on how influential they are in getting you what you want. So you're going to put a number here. All right, so let's say your sister's best friend is the head producer at your local news station. So you would say, my sister knows someone in the media. You would say sister, or whatever her name is, Jane. How influential on a scale of 1 to 10 is Jane if her best friend is the head producer at that local news station? I would say your sister Jane is like a 10 on the influential scale if it's her best friend, right? So I would put a 10. If your sister's ex-boyfriend is the top producer at that local news station, I would say maybe your sister is like a 2 on the influential scale, maybe a 1, depending on how they broke up, right? So you're going to rank that person. Then you move over to the next column and you're going to rank that person on a scale of 1 to 10 on how likely they are to help you. So if it's your sister and you've got a great relationship, I would hope she would be a 10, right? Let's go back. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Then in the final column, you're going to add up both of these scores and you're going to have a grand total score in the final column. So then once you have all 20 scores, you're going to sort those scores in descending order so that the people with the highest scores are at the top of the list and the people with the lowest scores are at the bottom of the list. So you've got the 20s, the 19s, the 18s, they're at the top. The lower scores, the people that aren't that influential, aren't that likely to help you, they're at the bottom. That's good news for you because you are going to start to reach out to these people one person at a time. And the people at the top of the list, they're likely to help you. They're influential. They want to help you. So you could just reach out and be like, hey, sis, I know that your bestie is the producer at the local news station. I really want to be in the media. Can you please connect me? She'll say, yes, I got you, done. Okay, that's easy. But what about the people that are at the bottom of the list that you don't know that well, that aren't likely to help you? You're not just going to ask them for help. It's not going to work. Sorry, they have no reason to help you. That would be weird. So instead of asking them for something, what are you going to do? Tell me what you could do to build a relationship with somebody. Tell me. Offer them something. Yes. Offer something, share information. So you are going to do something to provide value to that person. You're going to help them for free. You're not going to want anything in exchange. You are just going to help them. And you're going to do that again and again and again and again and again until you've built that relationship up so much so that that person is like, oh my God, not only your best friend, but they're like, you've helped me so much, Donna. How can I help you? And then the law of reciprocity kicks in and you can say, well, I really am trying to get in the media. I know you know someone. Could you help me? Boom. That is how we network. That is how you create win-win relationships, not just by asking for things, only if that person is a high likely to help you score. But if they're lower, you got to provide value to that person. You got to pay it forward. You can do lots of things. You can share their stuff on social media. You can buy their products. You can write a great review about their book or about their podcast on Apple reviews, in Amazon reviews, screenshot it, send it to them. You can, what do they need help with right now? How can you provide value? You can connect them to somebody. What can you do to help them? That's what it's about. Boom. Okay. So who's in to do the top 20, by the way? You still in after I showed it to you? Because that's going to change your entire life. You can do that for anything, for sales, for finding investors, for finding clients, for getting in the media. You can use it for absolutely anything. Okay. Woo. All right. So this is just my last thing that I will leave you with. You have a responsibility. You have a responsibility because if you help people, those people will not get your help unless they can find you. So you need to be able to put yourself out there. Okay. Want to go further? Again, we have a free challenge coming up. It's 5 days, and we will teach you how to attract and retain and become visible to your dream clients. So not just any clients, but clients that you absolutely are obsessed with working with, that refer you to people, that pay on time, that pay you your worth, that you absolutely love, and create an unbelievable community. thedreamclientchallenge.com. Go sign up. It is free. I highly recommend that you do the VIP so you can be on Zoom calls with us, but go do it. It's free. thedreamclientchallenge.com. Let me know if you're signing up so I can know who I can see there. Just say me in the chat if you're going to join me. You can go do it now. Yeah, go do it now. Amanda, I'll see you there. Eileen, I'll see you there. Yay. Cal, Denise. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see you guys. Jennifer Klein is signing up. Donna's going to be there. It'll be a party. So go sign up. It is starting. Oh my gosh, it's starting on Sundays, the pre-party. So it's 5 days. It's bomb ass, you guys. So go sign up. All right, I'm going to stop my share now. And that is it. Thank you.
Wow. My hand hurts. I took way too many notes. That was amazing, Jen.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a few questions, and when we do these webinars, we have people ask questions when they sign up. And the one thing that I'd like to ask from our registrant questions is all of this. I think I know the answer to this question, Jen, but nonprofits, is there something, because we do have some people in the audience that are in the nonprofit world, is there something that the nonprofits, it seems to me they have a great story, but we're all competing for the same time and attention. So is there something you think nonprofits should be doing in addition to what you discussed, or something in particular that you did discuss?
The exact same thing that I just said. Every single thing it works beautifully for nonprofits. We worked with Pencils of Promise for years and did their PR and their media. It's the exact same stuff. It's actually even more powerful to share nonprofits stories, because what I would recommend is remember we talked about lean in stories, sharing
Right.
the lean in stories of the people that you help, right? So let's say you have a nonprofit that helps children, right? Like what are some of the amazing stories that of these children, right? How can you share those? And those are really powerful stories in the media. But yeah, it's even easier to get media for nonprofits. You always want to tie it into a timely news hook. So let's say Pencils of Promise, right? They build schools in Africa, and Angelina Jolie just went to Africa and adopted a beautiful new baby, and that's in the news, right? We could come in and have the CEO of Pencils of Promise talk about what's going on in Africa with education with children, because they're talking about a timely topic that Angelina Jolie was just there. She visited a school and she adopted a baby, right? So how do you tie it into a timely news hook? But I mean, everything that I just taught, yes, nonprofits use it.
Got it. All right. So we have a couple of other questions in the Q&A. And one of the questions is, will this be recorded? Yes. If you are here, you will get the recording of this because like me, I didn't take enough notes. Roseanne DeTorres asked how for specifics on getting free PR. I kind of feel like you covered that in the presentation. Roseanne, are you good with that question? I'll leave that to you in the chat. And this you did cover, but I'm going to ask Denise Lanza to tell us what she does so that Jen can give you a specific response. But Denise asked, how do you determine which media and which specific product within that media company you should go after? So you did talk about, I love fear of missed opportunity. But Denise, if you want to jump in, Rachel, do you know what Denise does, or Kate?
Yeah, Denise works for Morris Parks. So it's a nonprofit organization that maintains the parks in our county. So I guess she's looking for specific opportunities for, I guess, nonprofit, environmental, that type of stuff.
Yeah. I would do the same thing. I would go look at, I would think about who else does the same thing as you. So anybody else that works in parks, anybody else that has a nonprofit, there's so many of them all over the world. You could look all over the country and Google them and see where they've been featured and see who's writing about them. Because you may find some really great niche publications that you didn't even know existed. That's my favorite thing with using FOMO as a tool, because often we just think we just know the big things. Like we know Good Morning America, The Today Show, right? Women's health, we know men's health. If you're in the health space, Well and Good, Mind Body Green, like we know all of those. But there are so many niche publications that we don't know about. There's so much opportunity that may be specific to parks, that may be specific to environment, where your ideal donor is reading, they're looking at it, they're paying attention. And the only way to find that is to look at your competitors and other people that do the same thing as you and see where they're being featured, or just doing some research in finding those more niche publications. But I always just use that FOMO as a tool, and it works wonders.
So Jen,
I'm going to piggyback on that. Oh, sorry, Donna. I'm going to piggyback on that because Denise had another question in the Q&A, but I think this is for everybody. I don't know that you touched upon it specifically, but we've talked about it before, like in our podcast and our conversations. So Denise said, local media stations in this area is really like the New York area, which is a huge market and very competitive. But, and I would love you to comment on this. In my experience, you can't expect to have never done any sort of PR before, and then you're going to get on the Today Show. You need to start building up. So how do you do that, Jen? Like, what are your recommendations, and what should our expectations be when we're new to this?
Yeah, you have to build up. It's very rare that you go from 0 to 100, unless you meet someone, someone, you go viral. We've had several clients like go viral, or we've had several clients at our New York City event. By the way, we have an event coming up in New York City where we connect entrepreneurs to the media. And we did have one of our attendees. We have a media mixer where we bring in the top producers and media people from New York City. And she met someone from GMA. She happened to be someone that he needed, and she went from 0 to GMA. So it is possible, but you definitely want to work your way up, because we have Good Morning America producers and Today Show producers come on to our community calls and do Q&A. And they always say, if you don't have on camera local experience, I'm probably not going to bring you on unless it's a very, very special situation where so that being said, I talked about it in the beginning of this presentation. Now is the best time, better than ever, to be able to be on any local news station. So you could be on local news in Texas. You could be in local news in some of the smaller Kentucky, in Arizona, in Washington, D.C., from your living room. So what I would do is I would just pitch all of the local news stations all over the place and say, I could zoom in, right? And then just that's what we do for our clients. We just rack up the local hits. So then they have this amazing, beautiful reel of all of these local hits. I mean, I'm on the news I'll sit here and do a national tour of all the local news stations, right? And it's so much easier to get those. So what I would also do and you may say, Jen, well, wow, there's so many. Where do I start? Always go with the low hanging fruit. So do that top 20 list and see who you know that knows someone. Always start with the top 20 list. Cold pitching works sometimes, but these producers get thousands of emails, even the local news station producers, thousands of emails in their inbox every day. And we always ask them, how do you stand out from the crowd? Why are you going to open my email? And they always say, if I know you. If I know someone that knows you, if I get an introduction to you. So who do you know that knows somebody? How can you get an introduction? That is always where you want to start. And let's say your hometown you're from Arizona. That's where your hometown is. And your high school sweetheart, his mom works for the local news station. You know what I mean? Or has a friend, right? That's how you're going to get it. You're going to reach back out. You're going to say, hey, I'd love to be on the Arizona local news station. I know that you know this person. I've got a great pitch. Could you connect me? Yes, of course. That's really how it works.
Awesome. So
By the
Jen,
way, I'm going to really quick, Donna, I'm just going to put in my event that I mentioned. It's October 20th, 21st, and 22nd in New York City. It's called Unfair Advantage Live. It's an invite only event. You have to apply to come. We only have 125 people in the room, and it's 3 days where we teach very similar to the stuff that I just taught. Bring in media. It's a party. It's amazing. So you guys can all go there and apply if you think it's something that could be good for you. Unfairadvantagelive.com. Advantage. I'm going to put it in the chat.
and Rachel, will you put that in the follow-up email?
Yep.
Yep. So Jen, we'll send an email out to everyone, and that'll be in there as well. So one last question I have is, are you familiar with, and what do you think of Harrow, Help a Reporter Out?
It's fantastic.
Okay.
It's really great. We use it. We have our clients use it. Our community members use it. They get lots of results. Harrow is just basically, you kind of reporters will put what they're looking for, and you just have to be really fast if you're the answer to what they're looking for, and you just really quickly say, I can do this, and then they're going to call you. You got to give them the quote. It's just, you have to have time, and you have to be available.
You're right. It's very time consuming. They send out emails 3 times a day. It's an aggregate. Although I will say I have an article in Thrive Global, and that's how I got it. Yep. And it's something that I've been able to hang my hat on a bit. So, well, I hope all of you really enjoyed all of this content. Jen, that was amazing. I'm literally going to rewatch this to make sure I captured everything, and I'm going to do the challenge. I want to thank NJBIA, Rachel Durkin, my co-host from Paradigm Marketing and Design. And of course, I want to thank our sponsors, Sandler Sales, Cal Thomas, and Roseanne DeTorres from DeTorres and DeGeorge. We'll be here. We're going to take the month of August off because we hope all of you will get some summer this summer, and we will be. And then we will reconvene in September. Again, I dropped the link in. I'll drop it once more. Join us September 21st for Emily Vavra. It's sure to be a great, great event. So thank you all. Have a great day, Jen. Really appreciate you. And again, silver lining of COVID. These are the things we're getting to do that we couldn't do before. So really appreciate your time, energy, your offers. So thank you all, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks so much.
You,
Bye.